afternoon. Welcome to today's CI Tools webinar. My name's Josh Osborne and I'm the product manager for the CI Tools. And today we're going to be looking at some stuff to do with the CI Tools coverings tool. In particular, we're going to be looking at styles and scheduling the coverings using the styles as well. I'm going to be using ArchiCAD 28 today, but all of the concepts that we're going to be looking at are also available in 27 and 26 as well. So if you're not on the latest version, you'll still be able to use those. We're also going to be using the newer coverings tool object. As you may remember, about this time last year, we released a fairly major update to the way the coverings tool worked. And so we're going to be using those newer objects because they give us some of the scheduling capability that we're going to be looking at. So yeah, if you haven't used those yet, that's what we'll be looking at today. If you have any questions as we go through this session today, just enter those in the chat panel and I will check on those at the end of the session and see if there's anything I can answer while we are live. Otherwise, you can send them through to our support desk if you think of anything afterwards. The email address there is nz.support@centralinnovation.com. All right, so with that out of the way, let's get into styles with the coverings tool. So first of all, we will apply some coverings to this project so that we can have a look at how those work. So I'll just pop to my floor plan view. I'll select one of these walls here. It's the one that we're looking at in 3D there. And we're just going to apply a wall covering to that. We'll just place it with the default settings. Place it on the outside of the wall. And then let's have a look in 3D. All right, so you can see we have a covering there placed with the default settings. Looks like it's weatherboards with a brick sill showing around the opening, which looks fine. So the styles, you may have noticed these while working in the tool before. You may not have noticed them, but while you are making changes to the cladding types here, you'll see that there's a selection above them saying, in our case, wall cladding, but for roofs, it will say roof cladding, style, and then it allows you to choose a style here. We don't have one selected at the moment. We're just creating a custom wall covering. But if we click in here, we can choose one of the preset styles. There's a handful of them included with the tool that you'll see, and they're just preset settings for the different cladding types. So it's kind of like a favorite, but applied only to the cladding part of the wall covering. If we jump into the trims, you can see we also have separate styles available for the trims, although there aren't any saved at the moment. And also for openings as well, so we can set those all differently. So similarly to a favorite, we have preset settings, but differently to a favorite, we can have preset settings that are different for different parts of the tool. So instead of having to apply say a weatherboard cladding type and have that override my opening and trim settings, these will be applied to just the parts that you want to apply them to. So it makes them quite flexible in that way. When we choose a style, one of the things that will happen is that it will lock our settings. So if I go through here and I choose the weatherboards style, you'll see that it, well, it doesn't change the settings in this case. Let's actually change one. Changes the settings to what I chose there, as well as the pre-saved parameters for that. And everything is grayed out now, so I can't modify these settings. And the reason for that is just because we want the settings to be always true about what they what you have them set to. So we don't want you to be able to apply vinyl weatherboards and then change the cladding type to bricks and then just have a very confusing situation where you run a schedule and it says that things are vinyl weatherboards, but they're actually brick coverings. So we want them to be locked down in that way. This is also useful if you're, say, a BIM manager at an office or something like that, and you want to make sure that everyone who uses your styles that you've set up isn't modifying them on the fly to something that isn't what you intended. So that can be quite useful when you are setting up the styles that you might want to use throughout the office. At any point when we have a style selected, we can also get out of it or make changes in two different ways. First of all, we can press the cancel style button down here, and what that will do is it'll just set us to a custom setting, and we can do whatever we want. And if you don't want to use styles, you can just hit this at any stage and then just use the tool like you would normally do. You don't have to use any part of the style system at all. It will just remain saying choose here for the remainder of the time you use it, and you don't get locked down to anything or anything like that. So you can ignore them entirely if you like. But the other option is that while we're looking at one of these, we can press the edit button next to the drop down, and that will let us modify the style. So this is how you can create new styles and make changes to existing styles. So we're going to hit the edit button and modify this style. So we could say that actually the airspace for these should be 25mm instead of 20, and then we just hit the save button, and now that style will be saved with that setting. So you can see it's still locked down to 25, but the style has been updated. So you can edit them that way. And then if we don't want to create new styles, we can do that too. So we'll go into custom mode. We'll make a new style. So let's choose ribbed metal for this one. We will set a surface override because the black looks a bit rough. And let's modify some of these values. So let's say that the base is 45 and the top is 25. Okay, that will do for now. Oh, let's change the material here as well. Make the building material aluminium as well. So with those things set up here, we're going to hit the create button and we'll type in the name for this style. So ribbed new one. So we type in the name there, and then you can cancel doing this if you want to, but we're going to hit save, and now we are locked down on this style and we have this new style available in our list here. So it's very easy to go through and create new styles as well, or edit them if you need to. So with that selected, we can hit OK, and that will update our covering here to use the style that we just created. So you can see we've got that there now. Now, one of the other things that you can do with styles, which again makes it useful for the locking sort of idea that we talked about, is that you can update the styles throughout your model. So we'll come around to this wall and add a covering here as well. Go to wall coverings, we will choose the style that we just made and apply that to the wall. We'll be able to see that in 3D. So we've got the same style going on both of these. Now what we can do is we can make changes to one of them and have it update the other. So let's go into this new covering that we've got selected here. We're going to edit this style, and we're going to say actually the color is horrible, and also the size or the spacing between the ribs is too big. Let's change to 75. We'll hit save there. So we are locked down again using the new settings. If I hit OK, you will see those new settings. So it's changed color and changed spacing. And you can see that when we do that, we now have a situation where we have the same style applied to two claddings, but they are not in sync with each other anymore. They don't show the same thing. So what we need to do now is just update that. So we click on the CI Tools menu, head down to Coverings, and choose to update styles. If you have some items selected, it'll run on the selected items, but if you don't select anything, it'll just do the entire project, which is fine in this case. So we'll hit OK, and it will just go through and find any inconsistencies and fix them up. So you can see it pretty much instantly updated this one here. So you can have the same style applied to as many coverings in your project as you need, and then modify one of them and have them updated throughout all of your other coverings there. So it's another thing that's useful about using styles, is that if you say have a style that is maybe a specific product and you decide to change product or something, you don't have to go through all of your claddings and choose a different style here or modify them all separately or something. You can just go through and modify ribbed new one to have the settings to match the new product that you're using, and then run an update and it will just go through the whole model and update all of those wall claddings for you, making it nice and simple to work with. We can also do the same kind of thing with the roof. So if I go in and add a roof cladding to this one, we'll reset to default settings here. And we can come through and you'll be able to see that we also have styles available here as well. So there's a bunch of different options here. I'm going to choose this shingle one. And I'll go ahead and place that. So that places my roof cladding with shingles on it, and then we'll have the same sort of system going on. So if I come over to the other roof plane here and apply the same new shingle, we can do the same thing as we did with the walls. So we can come back and modify this cladding. So let's say that we have decided that yes, that color scheme does look a little hard on the eyes. Let's change to this one here, and we will make these a little bit smaller. We'll save that. That will update the one that we have selected, obviously, so we see that change there, but these ones are untouched still. So we just again go through and run the update. And that updates anything else that was using the same style. So it just makes it nice and easy to work with those. So the other reason you might want to use styles is because you want to generate calculations or rather a schedule so that you can do calculations on it or something, but you can get quantities out of these. So there's two ways to get quantities out. The first one we'll look at is to do with styles, which is why we covered that off first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a schedule to show me the area of the cladding types that I'm using. So I'll just open up one of these and make a new schedule. Call it wall cladding. So there's an element schedule called wall cladding. We're going to say that the criteria is anything that contains the name wall covering. Makes it nice and easy. And then under the fields, we are going to add in the ID of the walls, element ID, and then we're going to pull in the calculation fields. So we go to library part parameters from my add fields drop down here. And then here we'll choose the folder view for used objects only. That will let us find it. So we've got CI tools coverings, library coverings, and we've got roof covering and wall coverings being used. So we're doing a wall covering at the moment, so we'll use that one. Hopefully that is sharing okay on my screen. And this will give us a list of the available parameters for us to use. So we can look through here. So what we want to look for the wall coverings is there will be a series of parameters available, starting with the word cladding. So we've got cladding area 1 through 5 and cladding preset 1 through 5 as well. And this is what we're going to use. So this will schedule out the area for each of these cladding types. So the main cladding, the cladding above sill, above head, below opening, and above opening. So we can schedule out all of those areas. We're only using main claddings anyway, so we'll add that one. And then we'll also add cladding preset 1, which will give us the name of the cladding that we're wanting to bring through. So we'll add those two there. So it'll bring through the name of the preset, which is to say the style, sorry. So we've got the element ID, the name of the style, and then the area of the style. So with those selected, we'll hit OK, and that will generate us a schedule showing us that info. All right, so you can see we have, oh, we don't have element IDs on them. Forgot that doesn't happen by default, so we could add those if we want to. But you can see that we have two cladding pieces, both using the preset called ribbed new 1, and we have the area of that cladding listed here as well. So you can see you could go through and easily schedule out the areas of all of your claddings. We could make one of these a different preset. So if we set this one to vinyl weatherboards instead, we can go back in and see that we have vinyl weatherboards is listed separately to rib new 1. So it just makes it nice and easy to get that schedule out. If we also want to do the same thing with a roof, we can do that. So I'll just make a copy of this one. This one roof cladding. We'll modify this to contain roof covering instead of wall, and we'll remove the wall cladding parameters, and we'll do the same thing again. So we'll choose library part parameters. We will list them by used objects only, and then we will go coverings, library coverings, choose the roof covering, and this time we're looking for a bunch of parameters starting with the word calc. So you can see them here. So we've got calculations for various parts of this. You can get more information out of the roof coverings because there's more parts to them. So you can see all of the available options here, and they have a sort of a description of what they do. But in our case, we just want to get the area, so we'll grab cladding roof area, and we'll add that over here. And then we'll also add the type. Oops, that, what did I do there? Disappeared. Okay, those two. So we'll bring those in, and then we'll list it. Oh, I brought the wrong one. That's okay. We'll hit OK and let it generate that. And you can see again, oh, we don't have element IDs, so we can't see those, but you can see the three roof claddings that I had. So we've got two up here and one down here are being listed there. So there's the big one there, 83 square meters, and then 32 by 32 for the other two, which are identical because they're just the same one, but one on each side. So it's listing those out for us. So we can get the same area calculations for the roof claddings as well. And if I had managed to get the type, we'd see the type as well. Can add that in just quickly. Coverings, library coverings, roof. Okay. There we go, and we can see the type of roof covering that is, roof cladding, sorry, that is used on those as well. So it makes it, again, similar to the wall covering. We can sort of sort them by the type of cladding they are, and then the area that is available for them. So that's getting values out using the parameters that are part of the wall and roof coverings. The other option, now that we have made the recent changes that we did, well, not recent, a year ago changes that we did, to make it so that everything is made out of building materials, is that you can just use a components list to schedule out your building materials instead. So what we'll do for that one is we will go to our components instead, and we'll make a new schedule for this. So we'll call this one a new component schedule, and we'll call it cladding shed. We'll say that again, we'll go with the name because that's the easiest way, contains the word covering, and then we will schedule out the ID, and then we'll add, and so we don't need to add parameters this time because we are going for a component list. So we will list the name of the building material, that's involved. And then probably the most useful thing for this would be the volume. So let's do that. So hit OK. And that will generate us some of these building material names are a bit long, unfortunately. So this is listing out all of the building materials that are used in all of our claddings. So that is the roof and the wall coverings. Obviously we could narrow that down so you could have separate schedules for walls and roofs. So we could say, give me just the wall coverings. That will go through and do that. And then we could do the same for the roofs. Get the roof covering one, and that will give us those instead. So two different ways that you could get roughly the same sort of thing. So this is the volumes of the building material that is used, or we can use the parameters to get out the areas of the different styles that are used in those. So there's two different ways. So yeah, and obviously styles, I hope that sort of makes sense as to why you might want to use those. They're very versatile once you do get them set up. It is another one of those things like sort of getting your template ready and that sort of thing, where if you spend a little bit of time early on getting a good set of styles that match the type of thing that you use, it will save you time in the long run. So I would definitely suggest that if that sounds useful to you, you have a go at making up some of them. Because yeah, they can be really useful just in terms of managing what you have and being able to update them and that sort of thing. And if you are wanting to generate quantities from them, it just makes it a little bit easier to navigate through the quantity results that you'll get out there as well. All right, I'm just going to quickly check and see if we've got any questions before I finish up. Let's see what we've got here. All right, doesn't look like we have any questions at this stage. If you do think of anything else that you want to ask, or if you have a suggestion for what you'd like to see in a future webinar, this one is based on a suggestion I had last week. So yeah, if you have anything that you'd like to see covered, let me know. You can just email us at nz.support@centralinnovation.com and that will make its way through to me.